Hold tight because the truth behind one of Ireland's most notorious gang wars has just been revealed. After years of speculation and rumors, the Kinahan Cartel has finally disclosed the reason for their deadly feud with the Hutch family. So get ready to uncover the truth behind the Hutch Feud, a story that will chill you. Here we begin. Conflicts in ganglands are normal, but no conflicts come close to the Kinahan and Hutch feud. The conflict between them has been going on for years in Ireland. Death and blood splash are now quite normal. The origin of the feud is interesting. The origins of the Kinahan and Hutch feud can be traced back to the 1990s, when Christy Kinahan Sr. established himself as a key figure in the Dublin underworld. Kinahan was involved in drug trafficking and other illegal activities, and he soon began to attract the attention of other criminal gangs, including the Hutch family. The Hutch family was also heavily involved in criminal activities, particularly in Dublin's north inner city. The head of the family, Gerry Hutch, was a major player in the Irish criminal underworld, and he had established a reputation as a fearsome and violent enforcer. The tension between the two families came to a head in 2015 when Kinahan's son, Daniel Kinahan, became embroiled in a dispute with a member of the Hutch family. The dispute quickly escalated, with both sides engaging in violent attacks on each other. The violence continued to escalate in the following years, with both sides engaging in a series of tit-for-tat attacks that resulted in many deaths and injuries. The attacks have included shootings, stabbings, and bombings, with innocent bystanders often caught in the crossfire. The feud has been particularly intense in the north inner city of Dublin, which has become a battleground for the two gangs. The violence has significantly impacted the local community, with residents living in fear of being caught up in the conflict. Where did this originate from? The Kinahan and Hutch families have become two of the most notorious criminal gangs in Ireland, with both sides engaging in various illegal activities, including drug trafficking, extortion, and money laundering. They have become wealthy and powerful, with significant influence over the criminal underworld in Ireland and beyond. The key players in the feud include Christy Kinahan Sr., his son Daniel Kinahan, and members of the Hutch family, including Gerry Hutch and his brother Eddie. Other key players include members of the Kinahan gang, such as Liam Byrne and David Byrne, as well as members of the Hutch gang, such as Gary Hutch and Gareth Hutch. The feud has also involved several other criminal gangs and individuals, with some choosing to align themselves with one side or the other. This has led to a complex and constantly shifting network of alliances and rivalries within the Irish criminal underworld. The impact of the Kinahan and Hutch feud on Irish society has been significant. The violence has led to many deaths and injuries and significant damage to property and infrastructure. It has also significantly impacted the local community, with many residents living in fear of being caught up in the conflict. The feud has also impacted the wider Irish society, with concerns about the influence of criminal gangs on the political and economic systems. There have been allegations of corruption and collusion between members of the criminal underworld and politicians, as well as concerns about the impact of drug trafficking on public health. The Irish government has responded to the Kinahan and Hutch feud by implementing various measures to tackle organized crime. These include increased funding for law enforcement agencies, new legislation targeting organized crime, and efforts to improve community engagement and social cohesion in areas affected by the violence. Response of the Irish government. However, the response has been criticized by some who argue that the government has not done enough to tackle the root causes of the conflict. There are also concerns that the feud could continue to escalate, with both sides seemingly unwilling to step down. One of the most high-profile incidents in the feud occurred in February 2016, when a boxing weigh-in event at Dublin's Regency Hotel was targeted by gunmen, resulting in the death of Kinahan gang member David Byrne. This was followed by a series of retaliatory attacks, including the murder of Eddie Hutch, Gerry Hutch's brother, in his home in Dublin. The violence has continued since then, with several more high-profile killings taking place. For example, in June 2016, Kinahan associate Gareth Hutch was shot dead in Dublin, while in September of the same year, two men were shot dead in a suspected reprisal attack for the killing of David Byrne. The feud has also had international implications, with the Kinahan gang becoming involved in drug trafficking and other criminal activities in other countries. In 2018, Daniel Kinahan was named as a key figure in a major international drug trafficking operation, which resulted in the arrest of several individuals in Spain. The Kinahan and Hutch feud has highlighted the issue of organized crime in Ireland and the challenges law enforcement agencies face in tackling these criminal networks. Despite the government's efforts to tackle the problem, there are concerns that the feud could continue for years. The feud has also significantly impacted the families of those involved, with many individuals forced to live in fear for their lives. Innocent bystanders have also been caught up in the violence, including children who have been injured or traumatized by the attacks. The Kinahan and Hutch feud has been described as one of the most significant criminal conflicts in Ireland's recent history, and its impact has been felt throughout the country. While the government and law enforcement agencies continue to work to address the issue, there is a sense that the conflict may be far from over, and that the cost in terms of human life and societal impact may continue to rise. The Kinahan gang is believed to have significant wealth and influence, with a global network of criminal associates and links to international drug trafficking operations. The gang is thought to be involved in the supply of drugs such as cocaine, heroin, and cannabis, with a significant presence in the Irish and European drug markets. The repercussions of this feud. The feud has resulted in a number of high-profile trials and convictions, with several individuals linked to the Kinahan and Hutch gangs being sentenced to lengthy prison terms. However, there are concerns that the threat posed by these criminal organizations remains significant, and that the justice system may struggle to keep pace with the evolving nature of organized crime. The Irish government has taken a range of measures to address the problem of organized crime, including establishing the Criminal Assets Bureau to target the proceeds of criminal activity, and introducing legislation to strengthen the powers of law enforcement agencies in tackling criminal gangs. There has also been a focus on community engagement and social cohesion in areas affected by the feud, with efforts to improve local services and support for young people at risk of involvement in criminal activity. However, there are concerns that the government's response has been inadequate, with some arguing that more needs to be done to address the root causes of the conflict. Critics have pointed to poverty, social inequality, and a lack of opportunities for young people as key factors driving involvement in organized crime. There is also concern about the impact of the feud on the wider Irish society, with some warning that the violence and instability caused by the conflict could undermine public confidence in the justice system and the rule of law. Despite the challenges involved, there are some signs of progress in Ireland's fight against organized crime. The recent conviction of several individuals linked to the Kinahan gang in a major drug trafficking trial in Spain was seen as a significant victory for law enforcement agencies. Hopefully, this will lead to further progress in tackling organized crime globally. The Kinahan and Hutch feud remains a complex and challenging problem, and its impact on Irish society has been significant. While there are no easy solutions, there is a growing recognition of the need for a coordinated and multifaceted response to the problem of organized crime. Some hope that continued efforts will address the root causes of the conflict will ultimately prove successful. What do you think of this terrifying Hutch feud? Comment below and make sure to subscribe for more such videos. We'll see you in the next video.